Hello, 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 and welcome to the Eyes of Life show. I am your host, Yolo Schubert, and I welcome you to our show today. How many of you out there know it is at least 120 Black inventors? And some of them did not even get recognition. A lot of them actually did not. And a lot of us have no idea. So when I take a look at our Black inventors and the things that they have created that they did not get recognition for, I think it's sad. So why aren't our Black inventors getting the recognition that they deserve? What is the cause of it? Why is that? And why did they not get recognition? So, one of the Black inventors that we're going to talk about a few of them today, but we're not going to go into all 120 of them. But one of the first ones we're going to talk about is a woman named Sarah Good, the folding cabinet bed. How many of us out there know that she created the folding cabinet? Um, so in 1885, Sarah Good became the first Black woman to receive a U.S. patent. She moved to Chicago and opened a furniture store. It was there she came up with the industry changing idea that brought more urban residents with limited space into their store. So she created the first folding cabinet bed. I had no idea that she did that. Um, Once again, these are things that we are being taught that are not taught in our school systems. We are not educated on this in our public school society. So when I talk about these things, it's because we need to know that, hey, when they say our children, or what can we, what can we do to show our young children, our young youth today, that they can make it in this world, that they can actually be creative enough to not just want to be a sports player. They can create and do anything they want to do in this world. So, Sarah Good, the first cabinet bed. Let's talk about something that I know quite a few of us out there love: potato chips. I know I'm a potato chip junkie myself. Okay. I am definitely, you know, anybody knows me knows I love potato chips. Okay. It could be something that I got from my mother. She loved potato chips and peanut chews. So I actually love potato chips. And my favorite potato chips is Utz. So Utz potato chips is one of my very, very first favorite potato chips. So George Crumb, I don't know if anyone ever heard of George Crumb. Potato chips. George Crumb was working as a chef at a restaurant in New York. A customer sent his dish of French fries back to the kitchen claiming that they weren't good. In an irritated fit, Crumb cut the potato as thin as possible, fried them until they were burnt crisp, and threw a generous handful of salt on top. Thus, the chip was born. So this is how the potato chip was born. So I was blown away when I saw that. So they created the French fry. Okay. So in creation of the French fry, long and behold, that's how we received the potato chips. I would have never imagined or thought of, okay, did the potato chip come from French fries? I knew they probably had to come from somewhere because, somebody thought of this idea, but I didn't know it was a black man that thought of, hey, I'm just going to slice them real thin and throw salt. Here we go. So I am forever grateful to Mr. George Crumb because he created one of my favorite snacks. Excellent, excellent. Gas masks. The gas mask was created by a man named Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan developed what he called the safety hood after noticing how many firefighters were killed by smoke on the job. The hood, which went over the head, featured tubes connecting to wet sponges that filtered out smoke and provided fresh oxygen. So, once again, something that is being created by people that look like us, people that look like us, created something so important. A gas mask. Do you know how many firefighters are out there that are running inside of burning buildings can give thanks to this man for creating something so needed, so needed. I, I'm once again blown away. I am literally blown away by these people who are creating these things because of their importance and how important they are to us as a race. So when I tell you that this is an important tool to have for firefighters, very important tool. So protective mailboxes. Protective mailboxes was created by a man named Philip B. Downing. Philip B. Downing created a mailbox design that features an outer door and an interior safety door to avoid parcels being stolen. So here's a man that created the mailbox. You know, once again, we have created some of the best things, but you will never know it because I don't see these people getting credit for it. I don't see these things being taught in our school district. So the blood bank, Charles Richard Dew. Charles Richard Dew became interested in research, the prevention of blood when he was studying at Columbus University. Drew discovered a method of separating red blood cells from plasma and then storing the two components separately. This new process allowed blood to be stored for more than a week, which was the maximum at that time. Drew documented these findings in a paper that led to the first blood bank. I'm just like, How many people know here's another important thing that was done in our history that someone looked like us did? How many of us knew that? I mean, I'm just really blown away by some of the things that I'm finding out that we actually, as color people, as Black African Americans, have done. I mean, security systems, uh, the iron board, improving the, the iron board in the 19th centuries. A woman named Sarah Boone, okay, she patented the improvement of our iron board. I mean, something else that we did, I had no idea that we did. Home security system. Mary Van Britton Brown, okay, African American nurse, devised an early security system in her own home. This is how the security system became about. She and her husband took out a patent for the system in the same year, and they were awarded the patent 3 years later in 1969. In 1969, African American did this. So here's another one Garrett Morgan did. 3 light traffic lights. You know that red, yellow, and green light? Well, we can give all thanks to Mr. Garrett Morgan. Was the first Black person in Cleveland, Ohio, to own a car after he witnessed a severe car accident at an intersection in the city. Expanded on the current traffic light by adding the hill component, warning oncoming drivers of an impending stop. So no one else thought to come up with this idea. But he came up with that idea to prevent accidents. So this is why we got a yellow light. This is just why we have a yellow light. Wow. So I give thanks to him for saving lives. Because if you're paying attention when you're driving, okay, and now you see if you're living in certain areas and you're coming down a road, they have these signal lights that flash yellow to let you know that the light that is now green that you're coming up on is eventually within maybe 30 seconds to a minute is going to change to red. So once again, an excellent and important invention, suggestion that was done. The refrigerator truck, Frederick McKinley Jones. Frederick McKinley Jones created a roof-mounted cooling system that was used to refrigerate goods on trucks during extended transportation time in the mid-1930s. He received the patent for it in 1940 and co-founded the U.S. Thermal Control Company, later known as Thermo King. Wow. So all of us we go to the grocery stores, we go to the markets, and we see these trucks driving up and they have these cold trailers on the back of them. Well, we can thank Mr. Frederick McKinley Jones for creating that patent in 1930. Automatic elevator doors. Automatic elevator doors, Alexander Miles took out a patent in 1887. 1887, everyone, for a mechanism that automatically open and closes elevator shaft doors. His designs are largely reflected in elevators used today. Alexander Miles, 1887. Come on now, y'all. I say we did a lot for them to say we haven't done anything, or, you know, things that were taught to us. We needed to, they gave us all our thoughts, our, memories, and taught us how to do things. I can't see how. So the super soaker. Now I was kind of weary on what is a super soaker, okay? But apparently it was a popular children's toy, okay? Um, that was created by a Lonnie Johnson. And Lonnie Johnson invention, Johnson was an aerospace engineer for NASA. So this is really some interesting stuff that I'm finding out here. We all know that peanut butter was done by uh, George Washington Carver. Okay. Um, Once again, um, let's talk about the automatic gear shift. Okay. The automatic gear shift was created by a man named Richard Spikes. Okay. He created the automatic gear shift, helping people to drive up a hill. So this was the reason for the automatic gear shift. And I think that's where when we look in our cars and we see, the drive, and then we see that one and that two, that's where that comes into play to allow us to go up hills. So once again, another great invention. Clothes dryers. George T. Sampson created the clothes dryers in 1892. 1892. And who can we also give thanks to for helping us keep our house clean? By creating a dustpan. Lord P. Ray. Lord P. Ray created the dustpan so we can sweep things from under the rug. The folding chair. John Purdy created the folding chair so we can sit at picnics, so when we in high school, or, they having gatherings and we need a chair to sit in, he came up with the idea of the folding chair. Okay. The ice cream scooper. Now, I know a lot of people love ice cream, especially back in the day. It was like, I think Black people really had like two favorite ice creams back then. Butter almond and butter pecan was like everybody's favorite. Mama favorite, grandmother favorite, granddaddy favorite, daddy favorite. Everyone had that ice cream, butter pecan and butter almond. Even to this day, I find out a lot of people love butter pecan and butter almond. Um, the creator of that was Alfred L. Krell. He invented the ice cream scooper. Awesome. Lawnmower. John Howard Burr fully made over the lawnmower, bringing it better traction, rotary blades, and allowing cutting closer to the building. So Here's someone else. I say, we're really doing it here. The lawn sprinkler. This invention was done by a Joseph A. Smith. Okay. This helped our parents who had lawns, for all these buildings out there, like the White House, all these corporate offices that have nice lawns, and these big mansions that have these lawns out there that needed watering. Well, they can give all thanks to Mr. Joseph A. Smith for, for helping them to keep their grass green, because he came up with that lawn sprinkler. So, modern toilet, we can give thanks to Mr. Thomas Elkins for your porcelain throne. So, no more outhouses. Woo! Without Elkins, your bathroom breaks certainly would be as uncomfortable as our ancestors' bathroom breaks were. Because we know they didn't have bathrooms back then. A lot of them had their bathrooms outside. They had to go outside into this little shack where they had to go to the bathroom at. And there was no toilet in there. They called that the outhouse. So once again, I want to thank Mr. Thomas Elkins personally, because I don't think I could have handled going outside to the bathroom. Um, I really don't think I could have. Um, so let's talk about the reversible baby strollers. Mr. William Richard, he created the first baby stroller with independent wheels. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. So I want to thank him for the baby stroller with the wheels. So I say our people have done some amazing things. So not only were they able to just be a person in the field, they were not just only someone who can go in the kitchen and cook and be used as a maid or a butler or a seamstress. These are some of the things that we were labeled to only be able to do during the time periods that I came up with. So, airplane propellings, James S. Adams, a biscuit cutter, A.P. Ashbourne, okay, corn changers, James A. Bowers, rotary engines, Andrew J. Bird or Beard, depending on how he's pronouncing his name. I mean, these are inventions, things that were creative, things that Black Americans had created or they helped to be put out there to be made. But yet you don't hear of these people. And I mean, these were some important things that were being done. But yet still, we haven't heard them. And I don't understand why. I mean, I really don't. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I think we need to sit there and have our children's research on who and how many of our ancestors or um, Black Americans, Black African Americans invented, so they can see they have a lot they can look forward to doing in their life. It doesn't necessarily have to be them playing basketball. They can be a scientist. They can work on the moon. They can do whatever it is that they feel that they want to do. They don't have to just be hairdresser or a barber or a shoe shine salesman. They don't have to just be that. Encourage them. Encourage them to use their mind, to think outside that box that they have us in. Because the more we start thinking outside that box and becoming scientists, lawyers, doctors, the moment we start instilling these in our children, gives them and lets them know that, hey, I'm more than just somebody can dribble a ball or swing a bat or kick a football. I'm more than that. I'm not going to be what you think I should be. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to put my head in the books. The more we let our children know that they're more than just that drug dealer or someone out there that's standing on a corner that's drinking alcohol or sitting there just shooting the breeze, not doing anything with their lives. They're more than that. And this is something that need to be told. They need to know. I used to encourage my children, hey, you cannot bring anything less than a B in home. We need to bring those standards back so our children can be educated. Okay? What about the street sweeper, CB Brooks? When I was growing up in the streets of Philadelphia, we used to have this machine that used to come around, and it used to have these street brushes, these brushes on the bottom of it, and it used to clean the streets. Well, you could give thanks to Mr. C.B. Brooks for that. The horse bridle bit, L.F. Brown, horseshoes, Oscar E. Brown, the train alarm, R.A. Butler. The Why can't we encourage our children to be just as inventive? I mean, we should encourage them, regardless of what they want to do. If they want to come up with their own makeup line, encourage them. If they want to learn to create whatever they want to create, encourage them. I encourage you to encourage your children, your grandchildren. It's important. I encourage my granddaughter all the time. I encourage my grandchildren all the time. I encourage my children. You could do anything out there you want to do. There's nothing stopping you from doing it but yourself. So much more than what people are labeling us to be. Radiation directors, and you know, we are so much more. So much more. Lotion and soap, George W. Carver. Automatic fishing reels, George Cook. I'm just like overwhelmed with the beautiness of the things that we created. So, once again, please, let's encourage our children so they know that they can be more than what the public, that what we're known as Black folks to be only good at. So I want to thank you for joining me, your host, Yolo Schubert, on the Eyes of Life show. We're here on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I thank you for watching, and everyone have a safe and prosperous night and week.